we're back on the road. Travelling Britain with one important mission.
What a lovely spot.
To play matchmaker and bring together the best local restaurants.
You're good at this, aren't you?
The soup, the stock, the broth. And
Yeah.
heavenly.
With the most innovative local suppliers.
Go on. Look at the flake on that.
That's flipping marvellous.
Each week, we're basing ourselves in one stunning region.
As we rode up through the vineyards, I thought, am I in England? Flipping heck.
We're going to meet top local chefs,
Nice to meet you. How are you
Oh,
doing?
yeah, great.
learn their skills,
I've got some in, but not others.
And their challenges too.
There are definitely things that I haven't tried yet, and I'd love to try.
then we'll find some incredible new local producers.
If Charles doesn't know about this, he should do.
And showcase their ingredients.
My imagination's going wild, Kingy, with what we can do with it.
Can we convince our chef it's what their menu is missing?
We're definitely gonna look at that.
You have outdone yourself. I think our customers would love that.
It's all about making new connections.
It's a bit like blind date with calories.
To help spur a local food revolution.
All across the country. Bring them all to the table, and who knows, you might have a very successful marriage.
We're starting our new matchmaking adventure in beautiful South Wales. Hoping to discover some hidden gems amongst these stunning coasts and hills.
But first, we've got a surprise of our own to uncover.
Wow, welcome to the future.
They're very beautiful machines, aren't they?
Can I have the red one?
Right, yeah.
Yes, that's right. The hairy bikers have gone electric.
I'm going to unplug mine.
Well, mine's unplugged.
We've got to embrace the future.
So, there's no clutch, there's no engine noise, there's no vibration.
170 kilowatts of raw power.
These new stealthier machines will be carrying us all across Britain.
There's no clutch.
But I can't think of a better place to start our journey than here.
We're heading to Penarth. It's only 4 miles from Cardiff, so it doesn't take too long to get there. And when you do, you discover a unique seaside resort with its glorious pavilion and pier, and a distinct charm all of its very own.
We're on our way to a brand new restaurant called Home. It's owned by head chef James, who runs the open kitchen alongside daughter Georgia, with the rest of the family pitching in to make sure that the place lives up to its name.
We wanted to create a restaurant where you come in, leave your troubles at the front door, and just come into our home, hence the name. I work very closely with my daughter Georgia. She's my counterpart, and we bounce ideas off to each other. We work very, very closely together, and we're the only 2 chefs in here.
When me and my dad work, I guess we are a bit like 2 peas in a pod, almost the same person when it comes to working. We just know each other's moves.
Our own sort of thing here is just great quality ingredients, cooked sympathetically, but then putting our own little stamp on it. It's like being, I guess, at a theatre show. 6 o'clock is game time.
James used to run a Michelin-starred restaurant in the town. He's hoping this new venture, delivering an 8-course tasting menu based on seasonal produce, will deliver a similar reward.
With only having 9 tables and 25 covers, it gives me the opportunity to find really small producers that I might only be able to buy 1 or 2 items from them, but incorporate that into a menu. That's the sort of thing that we're looking to do now. So it just makes it that little bit more seasonal and a bit more special. I'd love to get another Michelin star back. That would be fantastic. And, you know, if I can push myself and Georgia a little bit harder, hopefully we might be able to move to the next level.
Well, we might not be Michelin-starred chefs, but we certainly know a thing or two about top quality produce.
It's our mission to find 3 new local suppliers that James and Georgia might not yet know about. Producers who are creating unique ingredients that could work on a tasting menu.
Perfect pasta.
And who knows, maybe help in getting that coveted Michelin star.
But first, we have to find out more about what makes this family restaurant tick.
Home, Belle, press me.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
How you
Nice,
doing?
yeah, good, nice to meet you.
James and Georgia.
Yeah.
Come on in.
This is fantastic.
Cheers. Yeah, it's a little different.
Well, hello, nice to meet
Hello.
you.
Yeah, this is Ellen
Hi, Ellen.
and
Hi, Ellen.
Louise.
Hiya.
Hello,
Hi.
Louise.
So you are the 2 chefs.
Yeah, we're cooking. Lou runs the front,
And
Ellen's
the
the boss.
You have that look, Ellen.
Well, this family certainly don't do things by halves, and that includes their 8-course tasting menu.
It's a bit of a bold statement, but we want to be able to use seasonal ingredients with the suppliers that we've picked that are really good.
I do love that in a restaurant where you hand yourself over to the chef, to the front of house, because they know what they're doing, and then you can relax.
If we can get you to kick your shoes off under the table, we've done our job,
Yes.
because then you're at home.
You've got to admire what James and Georgia are trying to build here. Father and daughter restaurants are pretty rare, and an open kitchen means there's nowhere to hide.
James, what are you going to cook for us first?
So the first dish, we're going to do the humble cabbage, and that's served with cauliflower, Penarth goat's cheese, and Welsh truffle.
I'm fairly sure that cabbage isn't going to remain humble for very long. James has roasted it down in a butter emulsion with lemongrass and coriander.
Oh, lovely. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing with this open kitchen. It is a complete sensory experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see it, you can smell it before you taste it.
What's that, James? What's that other element?
So it's a cauliflower couscous. It's a textural element.
Yeah,
So
lovely.
you've got texture from the cabbage, a little puree, another little texture for the top. And then we're going to finish it with an espuma, a foam of goat's cheese. Just to finish the dish off, we've got some Welsh truffle.
Welsh truffle.
Welsh truffle, yeah. So it's got an amazing aroma, fantastic flavour, and it comes from Usk. So again, it's really local to us. So just a little bit of this just to finish off the dish. Only one last thing that I'm just going to do is a little bit of the dressing that we've roasted the cabbage in.
You can see just how much respect James and Georgia have for their ingredients, and you can bet that's going to be reflected in the taste.
Oh, man. It's just beautiful. Crisp, and a lot of the texture of things just great. It's
Yeah.
such a nice mouthfeel.
Welsh truffle and the goat's cheese. Gorgeous.
Absolutely unbelievable. Wonderful produce.
It's very clever, isn't it?
I love it because it's all about flavour. It just blossoms in your mouth as soon as you put it in.
James is right. Launching with a tasting menu is a pretty bold statement.
It means putting a lot of faith in the chefs, but so far it feels like we're in safe hands.
What are we having now?
We're going to do lamb, and we use the whole parts of the lamb. So we're going to do a little bit of breast, fillet, and the loin.
It's a real joy to watch James and Georgia work side by side. They have an almost telepathic connection. And together, they're producing a dish of real quality.
Oh, look at that. Now, when people say pink lamb, that's what you have to have. It's just right at that point.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Exactly that. It needs to be well rested. You know, we don't water bath any of the meat.
No.
So you've got to have a certain skill level to get it right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is carnage.
James and Georgia are keen that home isn't just about the food. It's about the theatre of it all.
Well, there's been no lack of quality in the performance so far.
It's lovely watching you work together, the pair of
really
you.
is.
Yeah.
The sense of anticipation watching you guys do your job. You know that you're just about to eat something amazing.
So you've got the lamb with the breast and the fillet, so the loin and the fillet. And that's just been gently roasted. You've got a little cumin sauce, courgette broad beans with salsa verde and turnip.
Fabulous.
Oh, that's just melting. Oh, salsa verde as well. Tiny little nip of that on it is superb.
You can tell you know how to cook meat.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Now, we'd be very happy to stay at home all day, but we've got a proper challenge ahead.
Well, the gauntlet is well and truly down.
Yes.
We now know what your ethos is. Seasonal, regional, the best quality we can find.
Being a Welshman for me, trying to find little parcels in this area that we can use and showcase on the menu, well, that'd be amazing.
And we'll try and cook something for you, if that's all right. We'll try and show the food off to the best of our abilities.
Just one more bite for the road first, though.
Thank you.
So pushy.
Well, I'd say we've got our work cut out for us here, Kingy. We need to find great local produce that's good enough for chefs chasing a Michelin star.
As a fiercely proud Welshman, it was no shock to find lamb on James's tasting menu. But we think we found a meat that could offer a delicious and surprising alternative.
We're heading very quietly on our new electric bikes to the village of Upper Brinnaman, nestled on the edge of the beautiful Brecon Beacons National Park.
Andrew and Elizabeth, founders of the Baker's Pig, bought this small farm some 10 years ago and now have around 50 Berkshire pigs, which they use to create wonderful charcuterie.
There you go.
Go on then.
Come on then. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
Good girls. Go on.
Now, finding charcuterie in Wales is surprising enough. But what's perhaps an even bigger shock is that this couple were once committed vegetarians.
We've both been vegetarian for a while, but it was just after we first got married.
When we first met, that was at a local peace festival. We were two hippies. It's not that we didn't enjoy meat, but it's for the ethics. You know, you don't know where your meat is coming from, you don't know how it's being farmed. We decided that if we wanted to eat meat, we would grow it and be in control of it.
These regal Berkshires are slow grown and free to roam and munch on pretty much anything they find.
We're not pumping it full of chemicals or steroids or whatever, you know, things to make them grow super fast. And that's what we do now, you know, that's what we're all about, you know, healthy pigs that are, won't do as they're told and just getting on with it.
They're happy, aren't they? They're happy pigs.
Yeah, they've got to be happy. And
These are too chilled,
these look pretty
to be
happy
honest.
to me.
Well, this weather might not be quite Mediterranean, but we're hoping these guys can produce charcuterie to rival that of the French, Spanish and Italians.
You didn't hear us coming, did you?
We didn't. They're amazing.
We've got electric. How's this wet weather for pigs?
Not
Yeah,
ideal.
not ideal. No.
Well, it's a pleasure to see you because we've heard quite a bit about you, which is why we're here. We've done a little bit of research and you were two vegan hippies. So why? How did that
She was vegan, I was vegetarian.
All right, but how do you get your head around killing pigs?
It was an ethical thing, really, I suppose.
It was only when we moved to Wales that we had a bit of land, got some pigs. I thought we'll start eating again.
What I love about charcuterie is, obviously, you're using all parts of the animal, but also you're wasting nothing because by charcuterie you're preserving and quite often, I think, enhancing the flavours.
So where does the magic happen? I'm presuming in the shed?
In this shed,
It's a proper shed, that.
Do you want to come into the unit
come on
and
in.
see what we're doing?
Andrew and Elizabeth manage the whole farm-to-fork process. And I'll tell you what, this may look like a shed from the outside, but inside, I'm telling you, it's a whole new world.
Berkshire pigs are naturally quite fatty, which in turn helps create a distinctive flavour. And together with Andrew and Lizzie's love, care and attention, we reckon we could be in for something quite special.
OK, so we're going to make some induja.
There we go.
That's definitely belly pork fat, isn't it?
Yeah, the belly and then a bit of back fat.
OK, so we've got to get all of this chucked into that mixer there and mixed up. So I'll just chuck this in because it's a bit of a
Bit
messy
messy.
business.
That's really good quality meat, though, isn't it? That's brilliant.
Can I have a feel?
Yeah, it's super soft.
Super soft.
Yeah. I do think, like, in the United Kingdom, we do make the best bacon in the world. There's nobody can touch us for that. But Welsh Unduya, never had it before, but I'm looking forward to it.
OK, so we've got some salt.
Unduya originally hails from southern Italy. It's a spicy, soft, spreadable salami with a unique, intense flavour that mainly comes from the chilies.
What sort of chilies are they?
They're Thai chilies.
Yeah.
so
Like the bird's eye?
Yeah.
That's got
So
a
quite
kick then.
hot.
Yeah. We'll give this a whiz then.
And this goes in?
Yeah, get it straight in there, yeah. If you like, you can manhandle that one over there and get it on the mincer.
And this is the perfect time to add a little more spice and a little colour too.
That's quite a hefty amount of paprikas.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a lovely red colour, aren't we?
Yeah. It's wonderful. Probably about ready.
I think that's probably okay.
Now comes the fun bit.
Dump it in there. Perfect.
The aim is very simple. Just get the mixture into that sausage skin.
They're a bit tricky to get on. Well, you can stop there then.
Right.
Shall I do that without chopping size hand off?
And then
There we go. And then
tie a knot in
tie
it.
those together if you can. They're a bit slippy.
It's like trying to knit a jellyfish. Come on. Look at that.
That's it, lovely.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
These prize-winning pork products will now get hung, cured and smoked. But we can't wait that long.
And fortunately, we don't have to.
So here's a selection
Oh,
wow.
good grief!
of our stuff.
That's beautiful.
Oh,
And a few Welsh crackers to go with.
So that's the Andouille, chorizo, copper.
Yeah.
This is
Speck.
speck, which
Speck.
is smoked.
Speck.
Pink gin, which is juniper and pink peppercorn.
Wow. I've got to try the Andouille
You've
now.
got to.
Yeah.
You've got to. I'm really looking forward to this. God, I have to say the colours changed dramatically from what we had in the
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's almost like a cheesiness to it. I mean, in a nice way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Fermented, yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, that is good.
And I think the heat is perfect. It's enough to tickle your palate,
Yeah,
but it's not enough to paralyse it.
I'm sorry. Would you mind awfully talking amongst yourselves because we're quite busy?
Well, we've come in search of something fresh, surprising and exciting that could find a place on the menu at home.
It struck the jackpot, really. I can guarantee that James and Georgia, they haven't heard of Welsh Andouille. I've never seen a charcuterie place that has its own pigs on the doorstep. And they've got a laboratory deep in the hills of Wales. Magic.
The thing about charcuterie, it's a product of its environment and its geography. And we've tasted charcuterie all around the world, you know, and Welsh charcuterie is absolutely up there. So we've grabbed ourselves some of that lovely speck, chorizo and andouille. All we need now is a kitchen.
Our plan is to cook 3 dishes for James and Georgia using the new products that we've found.
So we're heading to the glorious, picturesque village of Llantwit Major to find our new base for the week. And it's fair to say, neither of us have stayed anywhere quite like this before.
This gorgeous historic castle fell into disrepair some 300 years ago and is being lovingly restored by its present owner.
That's a proper castle, Kingy.
Look at that. Well, there's bits of it and everything, isn't it? It's fabulous.
Aye, but you'd be falling too. That was built in 1596 by a man called Griffith Williams.
Was it?
For his son-in-law, Edmund Van.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you know, nobody's lived here since 1670, till we've come to cook.
This ancient monument has been renovated using the same techniques and materials that would have been used back when the castle was first built.
And although the exterior is still in need of a little TLC, we're pleased to report that cooking arrangements have been brought right up to date.
Quite excited about this. If these walls could talk.
The whole place is a wonderful mix of the traditional and the new, and the perfect environment to show off our ingredients.
For our first dish, we're going to showcase that wonderful charcuterie by creating stuffed chicken supreme. And for added decadence, we've even scored some local truffles from just up the road in Monmouthshire.
Look, that's a monster.
That's a monster. That's more expensive than moon rock. But by God, it's good, isn't it?
But it's the produce from Andrew and Lizzie's farm that's the real star of the show.
It's an old trick, but a good one. A chicken breast, stuffed.
Yeah.
With
truffle.
And brie, wrapped in speck, served on the andouille potatoes dauphinoise.
I love the way you think, mate. We're going to start by preparing the potatoes, while Dave gets slicing and dicing.
I haven't cooked myself for ages.
Don't say that, dude.
I'm preparing some of our lovely charcuterie.
Oh, look at this.
I know.
Oh, man.
Wales, it is a bounteous larder, isn't it? And I think people are really beginning to appreciate it now.
Well, I think the Welsh have appreciated it for a very long time and just haven't said now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, isn't it?
We're also going to add some thinly sliced onion.
This is going to be such an indulgent dish. Well, for a restaurateur as well.
Now, this is where my degree in fine art comes in handy.
The first layer, so we'll finish the top layer off proper, eh? The first one can go in, willy-nilly-nilly.
And then you just keep building, creating layer upon layer of delicious meat, onion and potatoes.
The bay leaf in the middle. Here's a bit. This is going to be stunning.
I'm going to add a little butter while Dave completes his masterpiece.
I'm attempting fish scales, but it may look like Neptune has had an untidy time with a new overcoat.
And just when you think things couldn't get any more decadent, add some wine.
That's all right now.
Yeah.
And chicken stock. A little pepper, and that all gets covered by foil.
I'd be happy if I bought that at a camping shop. It's a lovely tent, that.
Yeah, because what I'm worried about is, you know, the potatoes and the butter getting stuck on the foil. And that way, if the potatoes, we want them cooked, so it's going to steam and kind of circulate a bit. And pop it into a preheated thingy for as long as it takes.
That gives us time to prepare the chicken supreme.
Well, I shall set about making blanquettes of speck.
While Dave's working on the wrapping, I'm sorting out the filling. I'm cutting a pocket along the length of the breast and stuffing it with some of that lovely truffle and brie.
Push it into the brie like that. I'm going to put a layer of truffle in there like that. And do that, like that.
You could add a little salt and pepper, but we think that speck is salty enough already.
That all gets tightly wrapped and added to our freshly oiled dish.
And repeat.
Dude, a complete work of art. Those supremes then go into roast, seam side down, for around 30 minutes until golden.
How's it looking?
It's looking beyond good. Just needs a little basting, I feel. How can it not be delicious? The speck, pork fat, truffle, brie.
And finally, those potatoes.
Look at those.
They're fab.
We remove the foil during cooking to let them brown off and crisp up.
Look at the colour of that.
Yeah.
We wanted to create a dish that would show off Andrew and Liz's lovely charcuterie.
And with some green beans and a little truffle for a final flourish, I reckon that's job done.
No, that's really good. And there's not too much of a big hit and bite of chilies.
And obviously the andouille is there, but the chicken's beautifully moist, isn't it?
I think James and Georgia will be very pleased to receive these ingredients and this produce. We're just showing it off.
Yeah.
I mean, they can Michelin star this up whichever way they like, but the produce is amazing.
A little bit of finesse and yum factor.
It's fab.
We've done it.
That's one down, mate. But we've still got to find 2 more ingredients to get onto James's menu at home. And we're going to have to keep that quality coming.
The whole ethos of the restaurant is that he loves it local. He loves it from Wales.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about bringing the kitchen into the dining room and having that theatre and that lovely kind of, and the smells wafting over.
It's a tasting menu.
Yeah.
And he really preserved the taste, well, the taste of the cabbage and the taste of the goat's cheese. The taste of the lamb was superb. He's an artist. He was like an artist with his palate. We just need to expand that palate a little bit.
Yeah.
And give him stuff that is unusual, but it's Welsh and it's good.
And it's tasty.
And it's tasty.
There you go.
Right.
So we're back on the road, as we reckon we found another fantastic product that ticks all those boxes.
We were pretty surprised to find nduja in Wales. But this next ingredient, well, let's just say this really takes the biscuit.
It's estimated that in the UK, we drink around 100 million cups of tea a day. It's our national drink, but for centuries it's never been grown here.
But we found a local farmer who's looking to change all of that.
We're heading up the road just 12 miles from Penarth to the 5-acre Peterson Tea Estate.
Tea bushes traditionally thrive in hot and humid countries like India, China and Sri Lanka. But Lucy reckons she can make it work in these less temperate climes. Can't wait to hear this story, I tell you.
Ah, this might be a lady that has tea. Hi, Lucy. I'm Sam. Very nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Hi, Lucy. I'm Dave. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
The best tea growing areas in the Far East are often at high altitude and enjoy a high rainfall and acidic soils. So we've just got a question for Lucy, really. One really big, obvious question.
Why tea in Wales?
We've grown fruit for many years and we just wanted to diversify the farm and help stabilise the income over the year and have a product that was easy to distribute at the same time.
Is tea easy to grow?
No, it's definitely not easy to grow. I'm a lot older and greyer than when I started, and we've been growing it since 2013. We've grown everything from seed, so it really is quite a long process.
Yeah. So do you grow the tea outdoors?
Yeah, some of it's outdoors and some of it's under polytunnels.
Right.
And what type of tea is it?
It's all grown from the same plant, so we grow Camellia sinensis. From that plant we can make any type of tea, green, black, oolong, white tea.
From seed? How long has that taken then, Lucy?
It takes pretty much about 4 years before they're ready to be picked.
It must take an interesting mind to work out how that can be commercially profitable, really, if it's 6 or 7 years before you actually make your first cup of tea.
I think long term, that's for sure.
Now, at this point, like us, you might think the whole flippin' idea is bonkers.
But this is no vanity project. Lucy's gone all in for the ultimate brew.
Gosh.
OK.
This is fantastic.
This is a big operation, eh? I guess the tunnels are about the climate in Wales, is it? Or is it not?
There's a huge amount of challenges. For a start, our light levels are a lot lower than they are in traditional tea-growing countries. The weather, obviously, heat is very different, but it's the winter that we really struggle with. You've got to be very determined, I think, to grow tea in the UK.
Now, I reckon if anybody can pull off growing tea in Wales, it's probably Lucy. And as she says, over the long term, it could prove a canny little business move. A product she can supply all year round.
But it's not just growing the leaf that's tricky. Picking it is pretty challenging too.
One leaf and a bud.
Get in.
Yeah, it needs to be plucked off between your fingers, so you don't actually use your fingernail at all. Literally just hold it like that and then just sort of pull upwards.
Just pull.
So we try and pick it uniformly, so we keep the plucking table. Shoots that
plucking table?
That's it. So you pick everything that's above a certain height.
Did you ever look down at your first polytunnel full of tea and realise you've got to pick it and think, what have I done?
I think that on a daily basis at the moment.
When do we get a tea break? You know what I mean?
When your bucket's full.
Yeah, I'm not sure we've picked enough yet.
Right.
Once Lucy's decided our buckets are full enough, we move indoors for the processing stage, where the leaf has turned into something a little more drinkable.
We're going to make a green tea today. So the tea goes into a wok and it gets literally just fired to just soften the leaf and stop any enzyme activity. Stops the leaf from oxidising, which is what makes it a green tea.
It's a very precise process, as Lucy needs to keep moving the wok on and off the heat to prevent those precious leaves from burning.
It's so labour-intensive. The whole mission you're on, Lucy.
You thought it was bonkers, the growing part.
Yeah, I did, yeah, to be fair, yeah.
So we cook this until literally you've got a sort of bend in the stem and the stem no longer snaps. In terms of fresh leaf, this was about 500 grams.
Yes.
So we'll have about 100 grams of tea out of that. So, yeah.
That green tea will get rolled and dried to lock in that distinctive flavour and fragrance.
And that means it's finally time for us to get our brew.
Oh, lovely.
Right.
So that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Really pure green tea.
Well, this is sort of traditional brewing, so you have really small quantities.
Yes.
Leaf like ours, it's so precious, it deserves to be sort of infused at least 2 or 3 times, really. And each infusion gives you a different flavour.
Well, it's a whole culture.
This is a very, very special cup of tea.
Well, thanks for picking it.
Oh, it smells lovely.
Oh, that is fabulous.
We set out to find something fresh and unique, and I'm pretty certain James and Georgia won't be expecting this.
Now, Lucy, she's growing green tea and black tea, but it's the green tea that we're interested in because it's a culinary product. Green tea is a flavour that's becoming more and more popular. I think people are more familiar for health reasons. It's very good for you. It's very, very refreshing.
So, with the tea packed in our panniers, it's time to head back to base and put our plan together.
Now, look, green tea isn't kind of normal
tea
in the UK, is it? There's not many people growing it.
No.
You think of like being Asian, exotic.
Exactly.
So should we do something with an Asian vibe?
Yes.
To bring the green tea into that, so it can enhance the dish as a cooking thing?
Yes.
I love it when we're on the same page. We'll be making miso salmon, tea-smoked scallops and prawns, all with a tea-infused rice.
And it starts with a marinade for the salmon.
Right, miso. Extraordinary, is it? When you make miso, there's a lot of salt in it.
In goes white miso paste, some sake,
6.
a couple of grated cloves of garlic, and rice vinegar.
2. We need to temper that with sugar. Just 1 tablespoon of caster sugar.
Balance.
It's balanced.
And lastly, I'm adding some finely grated fresh root ginger. Then it's ready for those thick salmon steaks.
Trimmed all the dangly bits off so it's tidy.
Yes,
And
nice.
obviously, you want to marinade not in a metal dish.
Well, yes, because there's vinegar and you don't want it to react.
Absolutely, that's a beginner's mistake, that.
There we go.
While the salmon is having a good soak, it's time for our green tea-infused rice, fresh from Lucy's farm.
It's very precious, it's very expensive, and you know why, with all the work that goes into it. Customary, I'll rinse the rice 3 times until the water runs clear.
And if we do 450 ml with that amount,
yes,
then that should be a perfect infusion and taste.
While Dave gives his rice a thorough rinse,
it really does help washing the rice, doesn't it?
Definitely.
You know, less starch, more fluff.
I'm going to steep the tea in freshly boiled water.
Rice goes in.
Oh, dear, you can smell it. It's beautiful.
So we can add the liquid to the rice and leave that to stand, and then we're ready. Cook for 10, steam for 15.
Finally, we're going to add a little coconut milk and salt.
We'll have to have a nice garnish for the rice as well. I mean, James likes his sprinkly bits, doesn't he?
He does.
The sprinkles have to enhance the whole. So we fry some ginger, spring onions, and garlic.
Garlic, that's it.
When that's all been chopped and finely grated, it goes into the pan with a little more of that green gold. It's a real treat for the senses and perfect for cooking in an open kitchen like James and George's.
This smells great, Kingy, and the tea just looks so good.
Yeah.
Streaked through the garnish.
Yeah, nice contrast in colours.
Yeah.
Fab.
And actually, if we cook this off now, we'll put the soy and mirin in it, and that'll benefit by standing for a couple of hours as well.
So off comes the pan,
I want to wreck my lovely board.
And in goes the mirin and soy sauce. That's combining beautifully and will look great sitting on the rice.
Should we bring us the rice, bring us the tea, and then put the tea in the rice?
Absolutely.
But we're not finished with that gorgeous tea just yet. There's one last part of the plan.
It's our tea-smoked prawn and scallop kebabs.
So it's out with the wok, some foil.
I've got about 8 layers of foil in there to protect the wok.
And salt.
And that's going to make like a pad so it produces smoke rather than just burns the tea. Now, that green tea, I can't stop smelling it.
That's fantastic.
So let's pile it up. You put a bit of lapsang souchong in?
Yes, yes.
So you can.
Give it a nice edge.
On goes the rack, and then those prawn and scallop kebabs are ready to cook. But timing is vital, so it's back to the salmon and rice.
Right, I'll get the rice on. I'll just get this to a rapid boil and then simmer for 10 minutes.
And those nicely marinated salmon steaks can now go into the oven.
Which means we can now get those kebabs on.
It's just starting to fume nicely. I'll put its little hat on.
Right, salmon's had Ted bro.
Now, we'd normally place the salmon under a hot grill until golden brown. But we've been inspired by our medieval surroundings.
This is the sort of theatre that James would like when he's serving it in front of customers, isn't it?
Yeah. Just come in nicely.
And my kebabs are doing pretty well too.
You smell, Kingy.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'll just turn these over, mate.
Great. Oh, God, they look great, man. Nice one, dude.
Oh, I don't want to keep the smoke in. It's precious, that. I reckon another 3 or 4 minutes and they'll be done.
Do you know, dude, I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah, I've just blackened that off.
Lovely. And the rice has just been resting. Can't wait to taste that.
All we need to do now is to take those kebabs off the heat and we're ready for serving.
Just fluff this up. It looks gorgeous. Look at that.
Beautiful. A bit of that on.
The delicacy of a butterfly landing on a geranium. Sesame seeds?
Yes. Lovely.
Now maybe a few drops of sesame oil. Now the salmon. You probably want to serve half a parve for them.
You do. I think that looks fabulous.
Now, let's see if that tea is as good for cooking as it is for drinking.
Yes. That, Mr. Myers, is brilliant.
Yeah.
You can taste the tea.
You can taste the smoke, you can taste the tea, the lapsang's working. Now this wonderful salmon.
Let's give it this a go, man, see what happens. Superb.
It is, it is. Now the tea-infused rice.
Oh, that rice is perfect.
You do need that dressing.
I think we've done very well.
We have that taste really good. Right, something different.
OK, so that's 2 down and 1 to go. So we're back on the road on the hunt for our final supplier.
We were really impressed by how James and Georgia like to put a modern twist on their traditional dishes.
So we're heading towards Chepstow, to the Wye Valley Meadery, to meet 2 brothers who are putting their own spin onto an old ingredient.
And when we say old, we really do mean old. As old as these hills.
Matt and Kit have combined their love of bees with the ancient art of making mead. That wonderful beverage beloved of Vikings everywhere.
No wonder they're all excited than Dave, eh?
Too right. Mead is made by fermenting honey with water. So the process all starts with these busy little bees.
We are here in Caldicott Castle, at the top of a 13th century tower. Caldicott Castle has tremendous surroundings. We have wild landscapes, so we've got a brilliant range of nectar and flowers for the bees to forage on. In a full hive, when it's up to strength, there might be about 40,000 bees in each one. In these ones here, there might be 30,000, I suppose, in each one, but it's on its way up. It's yet to reach maturity yet.
Matt and Kit keep around 150 hives in the local area. with all of them playing their part.
So these bees here will forage nectar from flowers in a 3-mile radius. Flowers produce nectar to attract bees to pollinate them. And these bees will go out and they'll gather this nectar, they'll bring it back in, and they'll use that to build up the resources of this hive. The honey that these bees will gather will be made into mead, really.
Once the honey's been collected, it ends up at the lad's base on this, if we're being honest, rather anticlimactic industrial estate. But it does mean we get to miss out on all that dangerous stuff and get to enjoy the sweet drink of the pagan gods.
Ooh, I wasn't expecting this. This is fab. Well, there's the lads. Gentlemen.
How's it going?
How are you?
Hello. Really good to see you.
I'm Kit.
Hi, Kit. Nice to see you.
Matt.
Hi, Matt. How are you going? I'm Sion.
Good to meet you.
That's Dave.
Sounds right, this isn't what I expected. When you think of mead, you think of somebody living in the woods with a beehive.
Chasing around fields.
Naked with a loot going in the corner.
Accurate. Yes, that's very normal.
No, this is Why mead? How did it start?
We began with the bees and we were making honey, and we thought, well, you know, what can we do with that? We were keen brewers at home and through uni, and it went from there, really. We were making honey beer, then we were making mead, and it was just taking out the malted barley to make the mead.
Mead, generally, in the UK, is part of our ancient DNA, isn't it?
Historically, people would have had honey, and they'd have had bees chasing them, and then they'd gone, what do I do with all this honey? Oh, I'll put it under water because honey naturally sinks and the bees lose interest if they can't get to it. So they'd have found a hollow of a rock or a hollow of a tree, or that would have mixed up with the water, and the honey would have mixed together, and it would have fermented naturally. And they'd have come back and said, we've discovered something amazing. This bucket or hollow in the rock makes
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
You see, yeah, I love stuff like that, don't we? It's great. It's like, this is great, and it makes you happy when you drink it.
And according to the lads, it's not just how the bees create the honey that's important, it's the when, too.
In the spring, they'll collect pollen from blossom, from apple orchards, or cherries, plums, that sort of thing around here. Lots of different wildflowers grown by the River Wye.
And the taste and texture changes depending on what they're...
Just like different grapes, different wines, different honeys and different seasons. Depends what the bees have been foraging on. And that'll change the flavour completely of the mead.
Do you know, I can't wait to find out how it all works from bee to bottle, really.
Yeah, we'll show you now.
We'll follow you.
Oh, yeah, come on over, yeah.
I had no idea that mead had such complexity to it, mate.
I know, but it's clear how much respect Matt and Kit have for their process, which is surely the most important secret ingredient in any produce.
This is this morning's honey extraction. So we went to some bees this morning. They were very excited to see us quite early in the morning. And this is just some supers of honey. What the bees will do is they'll cap it when they're happy with the moisture content of the honey inside. Yeah. Grab a spoon. Yeah, here you go.
Oh, wow, thank you. I've never done this before.
That'll be better.
This is the full bee experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the freshest honey you'll ever taste, probably, unless you're a beekeeper.
Or a bee.
Or a bee. Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Thank you very much.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Thank you. You'd have had different experiences then, because you've eaten the summer honey, which is there, and you've eaten the spring honey, which is just there.
Do you know, it just tastes extraordinarily pure. I don't know whether it's because it's such a privilege eating honey like this. It's rather wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next part of the process requires that lovely honey going into those rather large mixing tanks. Up you go, Dave.
Good job I had me muesli this morning. The honey mixes with warm water, and then Matt and Kit will wait until it cools before adding the yeast.
Right, that's all in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
From this point on, we check the temperature.
Yeah.
Make sure that's really good for our yeast to exist in, and that likes a temperature of about 20 to 25 degrees. And we also check the pH. Got quite a lot of alkali in the water here, so we need to make sure that's really good for the yeast to start doing its job.
So, that's that process. The next bit, what's it taste like?
Well, exactly, yeah. Should we go and try some?
Great, please.
More than 40,000 bees have worked hard on making this mead. I reckon the least we can do is have a teeny-weeny sample of their efforts.
What we've got here then, fellas?
So this is lightly sparkling, it's 4%, and we dry hop this one towards the end of the fermentation.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
That's something you'd have at a wedding for toasting.
Absolutely.
Instead of champagne.
Yeah. And that's where mead, that's where the word honeymoon comes from. You're meant to drink mead for a month after you get married, for a moon's phase. Yeah.
For a moon's face,
Yeah.
yes. I knew the moon's face, but I didn't connect honey.
That's got our taste buds tingling, but we're looking for something really special to showcase in our final dish, and the lads think they've got just the thing.
This has honey from the spring, which you have tried, and from the summer, but also we incorporate some honey from the Brecon Beacon, some really nice heather honey.
Heather honey.
Absolutely, you guys know all about that.
So it's funny, you're blending the honeys
Yeah.
like a good wine grower would blend the varieties of grapes.
Absolutely.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
It is.
Takes around about a year to brew this, so it's a long process to age.
year?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So the longer you leave it in the barrel for, the flavours really develop and mellow.
Well, Dave, I think we've got a winner, mate.
That's just spot on. Well, cheers.
Cheers, lads.
Yeah, cheers.
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 Here's to the bee.
Cheers to the bee.
Yes, indeed, and all their hard work. Yeah.
We reckon this mead could prove a real hit on home's tasting menu. It's unique, it's local, it's traditional, and with those deep and mellow flavours, incredibly versatile too.
And as this is our final dish, we're going out with a bang. Back at base, we've invented a way of showcasing not just one, but two of our new ingredients.
You know, sometimes it's quite a challenge to invent a recipe, but this one I'm genuinely really excited. How do you do a recipe that incorporates Matt and Kit's finest mead with Lucy's fabulous green tea?
Well, we've come up with it, haven't we?
That's right, we're going to be making green tea panna cotta with mead salted caramel.
So I had this idea, you taste the astringent panna cotta, some cardamom, cinnamon, and lovely things, and lime zest.
We'll have to be careful. Balance that out.
What will balance it, I think, is that salt, caramel, miso, mead glaze.
I'm going to start with the panna cotta. First, add some cream and some milk.
Not too much, Simon.
Then in goes some sugar and a cinnamon stick.
Teaspoon of cardamom seeds. I'm going to give these a little crack because I believe they get the flavour out if we just crush them a little bit. There you go.
Next, in goes some lime zest before it's back to those lovely local leaves.
30 grams of the finest Welsh green tea. I'm going to put a bit of lapsang souchong.
How much?
A pinch.
That's it.
Just bring this to a boil and leave it to cool for 10 minutes.
But not only do we want these panna cottas to taste great,
lovely,
they also need to look the part too.
I'm just going to put 3 sheets of gelatine in, so it should still have a wobble.
It's always best.
Right, I'm just going to put this to soak in some cold water.
While Dave gets to work on his wobbling, I'm cracking on with the caramel, starting with some sugar.
And I just want to put enough water in so it goes like the consistency of wet sand.
When you're happy,
look at that, wet sand.
Set it over a medium heat and leave it to caramelise.
Caramelise.
Giving it a shake every now and then to make sure it colours evenly.
There we go.
Meanwhile, my pan's come to the boil and the gelatine looks ready too.
Put this into the ethereal brew until it melts. It's funny, panna cotta, it's one of those posh desserts, isn't it? And yet, actually, it's reasonably easy to make.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God,
I've got the gelatine in. Yeah,
hey,
smell
dude,
that.
Smells fantastic.
Yeah, it's certainly got the green tea in there.
While I'm waiting for my caramel, I've got time to conjure up the balance of the sweet and savoury.
I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of Matt and Kit's wonderful mead.
Of course, the miso is really taking the place of the salt in the caramel, isn't it?
Yeah, 2.
But just a bit cooler.
3. Yeah, and I'll put the miso in. And now, yeah. Give it a whisk.
That mead and miso all gets a good whisk.
Got all my bits in a row. I've just got to wait for this to caramelise.
And that tea is definitely making its presence felt.
Look at that, it's got like a greeny hue to it, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. I'd quite like to taste this now, just to see how porky it is. So cinnamon should temper the tea a bit. It's fine,
Straight
isn't it?
away.
It's grown up.
Yeah, it's superb.
All I've got to do is to strain this into a jug and fill the moulds.
Just right.
Once they're cooled at room temperature, bung them in a fridge for around 4 hours.
While you've got time to kick your heels, mate, I need to be on the ball.
Right, I've got to move quite quick now.
Right, you are good with caramel.
So I'm going to do this.
I need to remove the pan from the heat and add the cream. If you're slow off the mark with the whisking, it can seize up.
We've kind of got a mead butterscotch there, have we?
Yeah.
And it's as clean as a whistle on the bottom, which is exactly what I wanted.
Right.
So as that cools, mate, obviously it'll thicken.
And just in time for my panna cottas.
They've got the panna cotta wobble.
Have they?
Yep.
Right.
Well, we'll take one. I'll put the rest back.
Okay, mate.
The next challenge is getting them out the moulds.
There's always that thing with panna cotta, isn't there?
There is.
A little bit of a risk factor.
And just heat it nice and gently.
Fortunately, that blowtorch still has some fuel.
Beautiful. Smashing that. Right, a bit of this caramel. That, my friend, I think is beautiful in its simplicity. And I know it's just going to eat wonderfully.
It is.
It looks a bit plain. Let's do some lime zest on the top. That's nice now.
Well, it looks like panna cotta. It wobbles like panna cotta. Dare we hope?
Let's pour some of this over there. A little bit like a chocolate fondant. You can always put more on. Look at that. This is classic. Ah, the texture's beautiful.
Wow. Oh, there's a little bit of smokiness there with the lapsang souchong, but what comes out more than anything is the green tea. That's fabulous. And the mead as well. You can taste the sweet hit of the mead. It's fab.
It goes together as most wonderful as you go. Just did a bit more on that. Do you know what, mate? Not only is it a showcase for the green tea and the mead, I think it's one of the most nicest, most modern desserts we've ever made.
Well, it was a risk, but I reckon it's paid off. And just in time, too.
The plan is to showcase our 3 dishes to James and Georgia. A little nerve-wracking, as we've got not just 1, but 2 top-quality chefs to impress.
But it's not really about our recipes. We're here to show off the quality of the ingredients from the local producers we've found.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
First, let's see what James and Georgia make of that lovely tea fresh from Lucy's plantation.
What we've found for you is quite special.
It is.
Did you ever think that they'd be making and growing tea in Wales?
Yeah.
And so what we've got...
Really special.
We've got a miso glazed salmon, just because we could really, it goes with it. It's tea smoked scallops and prawns.
Okay.
And on this, it's a tea infused Japanese rice. We actually got the tea as well and crisped it up and used that as a garnish, but it's Welsh tea.
So subtle but lovely.
It is quite subtle.
It's not cheap, but it's quite spectacular.
Yeah, but you pay for what you get,
You
don't
do.
you?
Absolutely,
And if the
James.
passion's coming through in it, then it just goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
That'd be something we would definitely look at. I'm genuinely blown away. I'd love to have a look at that.
Yeah, good.
That'd be amazing to put on at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything to support local that produce something that is of top quality is just, well, it's what we're about. Really. This is lovely, I must be honest.
Great. Good.
That's a big compliment coming from you, James.
Yeah, no, it is.
And Georgia, it really is.
Well, that went down well, mate.
Absolutely. Let's see if that local charcuterie also gets the thumbs up.
And this is a couple, it's Andrew and Liz.
They wanted to go from field to produce to plate and wanted to produce great pork product.
Great charcuterie.
So, an amazing charcuterie.
So what we've done here is, it's a bit like a boulanger potato with wine and stock, but it's done with an andouille and a chorizo in it. And the chicken, that's their spec. We've wrapped it in.
So, have a dig in, see what you think. You're going to get slapped round the mush with flavour here.
That's really nice, very subtle. That really is lovely.
So tasty.
It really
The
is.
spec's fabulous.
This is really tasty. You can taste all the different things that they're putting into that. And how do you find the chilli in that?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Not usually very good with spice, but it's nice.
It's a 2 from 2, that is. I'll give them a shout, definitely.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that's Dr. We're not doing too bad, look.
No.
And for our final dish, it's the green tea panna cotta. But will James and Georgia be impressed by the mead in the caramel?
This one we're feeling quietly confident.
Yes, indeed.
The two products, one's the green tea, that wonderful Welsh green tea panna cotta with cardamom, cinnamon, and all manner of lovely things with some lime zest.
Yes.
Now we're serving that with a miso and mead salt caramel syrup to go on your green tea panna cotta. Pour it onto the panna cotta and then have the two together. I think it's a triumph for myself.
Oh, that's tasty.
You got the green tea
That's
now?
beautiful. And the mead comes through really nice. This is lovely.
Great.
That mead is amazing.
It's great. It's kind of... There's a deep honey note to it, but it's not sweet. It's just...
No, yeah, it's lovely.
It blossoms in your mouth.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So, we sincerely hope that we've introduced you to producers that you may use.
I definitely think so.
Yeah.
That's a hat trick, that is.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Well, it takes a lot to impress chefs as good as James and Georgia, but I think we might have hit the target.
After speaking to the bikers when they left, you know, to go off and find us some produce that we might not know about, I was a little bit dubious because we do know the area pretty well. But actually, this has been a real eye-opener. I'm absolutely blown away. I am genuinely gobsmacked. The ingredients, the flavours, the whole lot, it's just been a revelation.
There was a genuine interest in the suppliers that we put in front of them, and you could see the cogs whirring in James and Georgia's heads, which was great. That's job done for us.
I know they'll be meeting up and I know they'll be doing business.
Hi, how are you?
If this was a dating show, I'd be buying a wedding dress.